Good afternoon, colleagues. I am Irina Sidova, and I represent the Kamchatka tour operator in Kamchatka. And today we are going to know each other better, and we will introduce our wonderful land to you, and to see a little video about Kamchatka resorts.
Then you can just see Kamchatka way off in the far east of Russia by itself. And then I just Googled and images, and all these beautiful images came up, and then I read about it, and that's when I realized that it was a great place to go.
Высота 1406 метров.
The altitude is 1400 meters.
Откуда название? Историческая байка, но я знаком с человеком, который
This is a
прям видел
historical
дневник Кирсанова.
thing,
Они после
but I know
двусловного
a person
маршрута
who saw
несколько
that
дней отмыкали
thing,
прямо на
and
горячих источниках, искупались,
they spent a few days
высушились. И он
in that
оставил
hot
запись
springs,
в дневнике своем
and
геологическом, что отлично вдохнул,
he
как на
left a
даче.
diary that it was a very good rest, like on his vacation home.
В 91 году, когда было извержение, кровать потеряла, по-моему, 215 метров, был взрыв.
There was an explosion
Он разрушил
10 or 15 meters
часть.
high.
То есть она была выше метров на 10.
It was, the top hill was 10 meters higher than today. Well, what is Kamchatka? Kamchatka, first of all, is a unique place where we have wild nature. Kamchatka is volcanoes. About 300 volcanoes, 29 are active, and every day one of volcanoes erupts, and you can see it. Kamchatka is the highest active Eurasian volcano, Kluchevskoy. This is the only place where you can find 20,000 Kamchatka black bear, which is among the biggest bears in the world. And you can see them on a unique Kuril lake and in other lakes where salmon comes for breeding. The hot spring valley in Kronotsky Reserve is a unique place, one in 4 places in the world where the hot springs or geyser activity is very high. We can see marine mammals, orcas, seals and others. During sea trips we can see whales and orcas. Kamchatka is known for its indigenous people. A few nationalities live there, and Aboriginal population, I mean, and you can learn their culture. Kamchatka is unique place for angling. A few types of wild salmon goes to Kamchatka rivers, and you can catch different fish at different times, and many people from the world come to fish. And of course, Kamchatka is famous for its winter. We have many mountains and much snow, not only from December to February, but you can ski in May and sometimes in June. Where is Kamchatka? It is located in the far east of Russia. It is a peninsula, but we consider it as an island because it's only you can get there by air, not by rail, not by car, not by just anything else. You can only fly by plane to Kamchatka. A flight from Moscow takes about 9 hours, and you can fly from Khabarovsk, Vladivostok, or in Novosibirsk. Sometimes there are charter flights from Japan and from the United States of America, from Alaska, but it's just a temporary window within a few weeks or a couple of months. And the time difference is 9 hours with Moscow. So if we fly off at a certain time from Moscow in one day, we get to Kamchatka. Sorry, if we fly from Kamchatka at a certain day, we will be landing in Moscow at the same time on the same day. The major milestone destinations in Kamchatka that we offer to our tourists are located in the southern part of the peninsula, where we fly into Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, our capital city, and travel across Kamchatka from there. You can spend a few days there. You can stay at a hotel and you can commute to places every day, or you can travel across Kamchatka for a few days, not staying at Petropavlovsk. My company is called Kamchat-In Tour. We receive tourists from 1990. We are 30 years old, and for the first 10-15 years we were majoring in international tourists only. There is a great experience on our side to service tourists from Japan, Germany, cruise ships, passengers, and we may offer any tour in Kamchatka, both individual or group tours, and we could add your tourists to someone else, and we also have tailor-made tours for customized purposes. Our company has its own camp near 2 volcanoes, 900 meters above sea level. We go to volcanoes from there, and we just make walks. Just over there you can have a Russian bath or have a rest, and up to 90 tourists can live there at the same time. Our company has its own vehicles. You can see 2 trucks for shift personnel. It's passenger buses based on KAMAZ, Russian vehicle, all-terrain vehicle, from 5 to 28 passengers with TV sets, with safety belts, and we maintain all our tours on such vehicles because there is a lack of paved roads in Kamchatka. We go by bus in the city from airport into the airport, and nearest places from Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. As far as the rivers, volcanoes or mountains, this is the transport that we use. And you can see also a tracked vehicle. We bring visitors to volcanoes on it in wintertime. So we have snowmobiles and other vehicles to do whatever the visitors want. As far as accommodation, there is no five-star hotel in Kamchatka. The only four-star hotel is a brand new hotel, Sputnik, and we also allocate tourists at Lagoon Spa Hotel, 3 stars, and every year the number increases, the number of rooms, and these hotels are located out of town, 60 kilometers away from capital city Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, and they all have hot springs and hot swimming pools where you can swim all year round. So if it's winter, you still can bathe in that pool. Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky has a few 3-star hotels. One is called the Avacha. It's a standard hotel to house. If you want a higher level hotel, we're using, how to say, closed private bases where you can rent it for just to close it off for certain guests. And my colleagues will tell about it later. What else is Kamchatka famous for? It is our seafood, of course, cuisine, marine life, and marine food. We have a few types of crabs, including king or Kamchatka crab, the largest, and other types of crab as well. We can offer fresh caught crab. Seafood also includes sea hedgehog, caviar, very precious and tasty, many types of fish, wild plants, berries, mushrooms, and others, and you can cook either by special local Kamchatka recipes, and also we could adapt it to the Indian cuisine. So far, there are no restaurants of Indian food in Kamchatka, but as long as dear comrades from India would come to us, we will certainly adapt to your cuisine. Our chefs are ready to go and to offer Indian food. I hope that it will be available in the near future. Anyway, any restaurant has vegetarian menu, and we know that many Indians are staying away from meat and prefer vegetarian food. Any restaurant can serve it. There is a recent restaurant majoring on vegetarian food only, and he would be happy to treat you, dear Indian guests. What else could be shown to visitors? Our company is offering mainly comfortable tours without living in tents or lengthy marches or trips. The tourists can live in Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky or on the travel base and go to excursions every day. The tour starts in Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. It's one of the outposts in the far east of Russia. It is located in the Avacha harbor. It's a very picturesque place. We can see 8 volcanoes from the city. Avachinsky, and the southern group of volcanoes. So anywhere in Petropavlovsk you could see a volcano just by your side. It's very close. Next to Petropavlovsk there is Halatyrsky Beach, the Pacific Ocean seashore with black volcanic sand. It's an interesting destination, very energetic, and both visitors and local residents get there to be charged with the ocean energy. Sea trips. Kamchatka is surrounded by the Sea of Okhotsk on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other, and the whole life in Kamchatka is related to the sea, to the ocean, and we could have short 3-hour, 5-hour sea trips up to 11, 12 hours when we go further to the south into the sea and could see Navy seals and orcas and catch sea fish and to enjoy freshly caught delicacies. Heli tours. As I said, there are not so many roads in Kamchatka, and to get to certain places, especially known like Geyser Valley or Kurilskaya Lake, we have to use a helicopter. We are having Mil-8 helicopters from 22 to 28 passengers. We also have VIP helicopters like Bell helicopter, Eurocopter for 5 to 7 passengers. As I said, we go to the Valley of Geysers, Yuzon Calder, Kuril Lake. They are all located in the Kronotsky Biosphere Reserve. It's a natural reserve. You have to comply with certain rules there to walk in certain lanes, and you need to have a guard because you may encounter a black bear because we're flying to the lake to watch bears. So safety is paramount, and we provide safety for our tourists. We pay attention to that. And Kamchatka is a land of volcanoes, a land of mountains, and any trip to Kamchatka, including visiting volcanoes, could be an ascension to the mountain who wants to get there, and you can just walk nearby for a couple of hours. It's not a very consuming physically, so it's just you can enjoy the sights, alpine flowers, and I want to say that the main volcanoes that we get tourists to are located not far from hotels that our visitors leave. The nearest volcano from the city, Avachinsky, is 1 hour and a half by car. It's just 2-3 hours it takes to every nearby volcano, so we can get there, go on top, and get back to comfortable hotel within 1 day. We mainly ascend to volcanoes in summertime. The season starts in late June up until mid-October, depending on the snow level. The snow can melt late, and it is still lots of snow in June. And in late August you can see fresh snow again. At the foothills you can find it in the mid-October or late October, it depends. And also If you don't want to go on top, you can visit hot springs where the volcanic activity is also visible. Sometimes they are called the mini geyser valley. It's not geysers, but it looks like similar. And trekking takes not more than 2 hours, two-way trip, and such trips are available to any tourists in terms of physical workout. We also have river trips and rafting. It's not a sports event, it's not an extreme thing. We have the tourists don't have to have helmets or to paddle, or you won't have your feet wet. It's just serene water, normal nature, and you can catch a fish. And we teach everyone how to catch a fish, so everybody could have it. And try yourself as a fisherman. So, and we cook food on the spot and serve caviar. As I said, we have some Aboriginal peoples there: the Koraks, the Evangs, Chukchi, Itelmens, and Kamchatka is culture of indigenous people. We can visit national places where those people live, the kennels of sledge dogs, and we also have dog sledging in wintertime, so it's really amazing and breathtaking. So you can herd dogs, and we serve local cuisine, herbal teas, special tortillas, and you can adapt it for any vegetarian type of food. Well, basically this is it on my side, and I can tell you that so far Kamchatka, we received Indian tourists before, but very little, and not as much as we want. We are ready. We know that Indian tourists are pretty demanding visitors with certain wishes, I would say, but we are ready to adapt and to comply with this so India-friendly requirements, and we are ready for a change to ensure Indian cuisine for our tourists, but it depends on how many tourists we receive. But still, there was a question on our website: what kind of tours are better to do in Kamchatka? I would say that we could start with FIT tours for individual tourists, smaller teams like 2-4 people, maybe families, to know what is Kamchatka about, and then to have bigger groups of visitors. Once again, the fastest way to go to Kamchatka is from Moscow City, 9-hour flight, or via Vladivostok, maybe, or Novosibirsk. Maybe this is the best way to get there in terms of logistics. You can combine Kamchatka with other regions of the Far East, which is Moscow to Kamchatka, or Novosibirsk, Vladivostok, and then to Kamchatka. The optimum number of days is 1 week, minimum 7 to 8 days. If it's a part of a lengthy tour visiting other regions, we can reduce it to 5 days, but it's better to have more time, because if we have helicopter tours, sometimes the weather is not favorable. We have to shift it to later days, and it has always been, we need to have a safety, margin, just in case. Speaking about longer tours to visit remote places like Kluchevskaya group of volcanoes to see the highest Eurasian volcano, Kluchevskaya Sopka, and to visit the Tolbachinsky volcano, which is active, we have to stay for at least 11-14 days, because transfer between places may take up to 1 day one way or longer. And please be ready that you have to live in tents or in very modest conditions in such places, because, as I said, all hotels are located in the Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky capital city, or next to it. The number of people in a group, speaking about not small groups or individual tourists, but about bigger teams, we need to know that the number of people should be within 20 tourists per group, give or take 1 to 2 persons, because that is related to the vehicles that we use. Again, it's shift vehicles from 20-25 places, and that would be better. If not, places are occupied. So up to 20 persons is the optimum number of people. The same is true for helicopters. The same is true for sea trips. We are using jet boats or smaller boats for 10 to 12 persons. And if there is a bigger team, we need to break it up in subgroups. Well, I was happy to welcome you, dear comrades from India, and welcome to Kamchatka.
Good afternoon, dear Indian colleagues. We are happy to be present at this online conference today. I am a director of a tour operator, Orlan Kamchatka. We have been on the Kamchatka tourist market since 1998, and I would like to tell you that Kamchatka is the region that can surprise you at any season. A bit about our company. We welcome foreign tourists in Kamchatka. We work together in group and individual services. We organize excursion tours, hiking up to volcanoes, rafting, fishing, expeditions to Kuril and Commander Islands, to natural parks and reserves. We also have our own sled dogs kennel. If you see us in winter, you can see our blue-eyed husky dogs. We also have our own transport, our snow transport, which is very good for voyages. We have Uranga for ethnographic programs. And furthermore, in 2021, we are planning to build glampings for our tourists. We are also ready to develop both VIP and economy programs around Kamchatka. taken into account all your wishes. We hope that Kamchatka will be the most incredible journey for your tourists. It's a place that can surprise them in any season of the year, and your tourists will be able to see these lava rivers in Kamchatka. This is a piece of lava after a volcano erupted in 2012, 2013. It's really beautiful, and your tourists will be able to take away the same souvenirs with them. The area of the Kamchatka Krai is 464,000 square kilometers. It's located in the south part of Kamchatka. This is where we have all our tours. Our population is only 315,000 kilometers, which means that there is less than one person per square kilometer, which is impressive compared to India, because we have a scarcely populated region where there are very few people. This is the Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, the airport to which we go, 6,700 kilometers from Moscow, and the flight takes about 8 hours from Moscow. 11.5% of the Kamchatka territory is under government protection. This is where we have natural reserves, special nature parks, and so on. We have 29 active volcanoes. In the Kamchatka and Kuril mountains, there are 7,000 volcano structures all in all. Here you can see photos of the renowned Valley of Geysers. A little bit about summer vacation. I will tell you what programs we have for our tourists and what the approximate price of these programs is. First of all, our tourists come to the airport, they meet our guides, then they get accommodated in a hotel, and on the first day, after such a long journey, we allow our tourists to rest. On the next day, we have an overall tour around the city, and in the evening, we have an ethnic show and program with dinner. We have this show in our yacht or Yuranga, a special tent of local people. And we also provide excursions to the Valley of Geysers. On the next day there is a helicopter tour to the Kuril Lake, where you can see bears. These excursions are pretty expensive, about $800 each. So for economy class tourists we do not offer helicopter tours, we can replace them by some other tours. On day 5 there is the rafting down along the Bystre River, fishing and microthermal springs. Day 6 is a jeep tour to Avachinsky volcano and the Pacific Ocean. Then there is a sea boat trip where you can see sea lions and killer whales, fishing and tasting of Kamchatka crabs and sea urchins. And finally we see our tourists off to the airport. The price of such a tour, together with helicopter excursions, is going to be about $2,500. Without the helicopter tours, it's $1,200, something like that. Here you can see our beautiful dancers. This is an ethnic tour. This slide shows the Kuril Lake, where we can see bears. This is the rafting on the Bystre River. We can see here the so-called chavicha, or the chinu salmon. This is the biggest salmon that you can fish, up to 25 kilograms. Then there is the red salmon. Here is a sea boat trip where you can see some other beautiful fish, killer whales, seals, and other sea animals. And a bit about our winter vacation. We've also calculated the price of a winter vacation for you. What does the winter tour include? We welcome you at the airport, then there is a sightseeing tour of the city, and then in winter the fish goes to the Lavachinsky Bay, which is why we don't need to travel for a long time, for about 5 hours, and we can take a bus and find those chinu salmon on the Avachinska Bay. You can also see our sled dogs. They are blue-eyed husky dogs, and you can take a ride on those dogs. On the next day, you can take some snow sled ride to the local sites. We offer the tours on helicopters around the Mutnovsky and Gorele volcanoes, with landing at thermal springs. For those who love skis, we can offer skiing. This might be downhill skiing and snowboarding. You can also visit our thermal springs. And finally, there is an ethnographic show program. Along with all this, we have different events both in winter and in summer. For example, in winter and in spring, we have different festivals, such as the Korak holiday, the New Sun meeting in December, New Year and Christmas celebration in January. In February, we have the so-called dog sled race Beringia, and you can see this race on this slide. This is where my son Alexei is going to take the first place, running along on the dog sled. In March we have a reindeer herder day, and in April you can see a Kamchatka adventure, your incredible adventure fair. In summer and in autumn we also have event tourism. In June, for example, you can combine your vacation with the Kamchatka Cry festival called the Day of the First Fish, where you will be able to taste beautiful fish soup, delicious fish soup. There is also the folklore holiday Nurgenek. According to the Evenks calendar, Evenks are the local indigenous people. In July we have the Fisherman Day. In August there is the Aborigine Day. Then we also have the Day of the Volcano. All the local people get together to the Avachinsky volcano. In September you can visit the Yelizovskaya Autumn Fair, which represents all the local food grown by local people. Also in September there is a very interesting Al-Halalai holiday. This is the longest dance of the local people. The longest one took 16 hours, if I'm not mistaken. We also celebrate the Day of the City. In October, we have a regional travel fair called Kamchatka Your Incredible Adventure. And in November, there is a Kamchatka Cry Festival, Hololo. One second, please. As for accommodation, Irina told you all the details. I'm not going to go into detail here, because we also have other speakers who will tell you more about accommodation in the Kamchatka region in greater detail. But anyway, we cooperate with all the thermal springs, recreation centers, hotels, hostels, and next year in 2021 we are going to build our own glamping for tourists, our own recreation center. Once again, welcome to Kamchatka. I made my presentation a bit shorter. You can see our contact details on your screens. We'll be happy to see you in the Kamchatka region. Hello, dear colleagues from India and from Kamchatka. My name is Maria Kachurina. I'm CEO at Profi.Travel agency in Kamchatka. Now we'll show you a small video clip with photos from our portfolio, and then I will tell you more about what we offer.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Thank you very much, dear organizers, for showing these photos. This is the photos from our portfolio. We have been organizing events for 8 years. We have more than 500 cases of MICE events. We also work with international tourists, with VIP groups, and with more than 5,000 people in a group. My colleagues have told you a lot about Kamchatka. I think you already have an understanding of what this region represents. Our agency offers you organizing exhibitions and business missions. We also offer ethnographic programs. We also have gastronomic tours for our tourists. There are team building events, yoga retreats, and I will tell you more about it in my presentation. But now I would like to talk about a general subject: where to stay in Kamchatka. All our accommodation sites, that is, hotels, hostels, apartments, guest houses, are in the following places. The center of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. There are pretty old Soviet rooms, which, however, have undergone renovation, and they can take more than 100 guests at the same time. One hotel contains 100 or 120 guests, but most of our guests prefer resort zones, cottage houses in the wild nature, within walking distance from hot springs or thermal sources. If you have come here in winter, you can plunge into a snowdrift with fresh snow. Irina mentioned that we only have 2 hotels that have the necessary standards. We have a 3-star hotel and another 4-star hotel, but I will show you a portfolio. These are all very comfortable hotels beyond the city borders. Even though they do not have stars, they are still great. For example, there is this comfortable hotel where there are 12 rooms. Actually, they could get 5 stars. This is the Blue Lagoon, the Belcom tour, guest houses located in the Tunskaya zone. And then I will tell you more about the Pacific Ocean area, the Avadir Beach, where you can get within 20 or 25 minutes. And I congratulate all our colleagues. Thank you very much for sending so many questions to our chat. We will answer all the questions after the direct line, and we will send you all offers, and we will answer your questions. This is our glamping area, which is located in the Pacific Ocean beach. There are several rooms there, and next year we will offer our own glamping. The team can contain up to 20 persons, and there are only thin tent walls that separate you from a wild beach where there is no water, no electricity. Those rooms are fully stationary. You have the Pacific Ocean on one side, you have active volcanoes on the other side, and there are so many emotions there. There are business missions coming to see us. There are tourist groups, there are many guests, and when they get to the Pacific Ocean, they have so many emotions, they are so excited, and this is really a wonder, and this is why our tourists want to come back to us. Next year, they will finish a 5-star hotel in Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky that will be equipped with all the state-of-the-art technologies, and it will be like any international hotel. It will include up to 100 rooms, a 5-star hotel with conference facilities, with an SPA, with a spa. So we are looking forward to seeing you next year in this hotel. A bit about us. For 8 years we've been doing international exhibitions, business missions, fairs, corporate tours. We have our own equipment. We can arrange any event in the ocean or on a volcano. What's our difference from standard tourist products offered by our colleagues? We always offer individual and corporate tours. customized corporate tours where you can enjoy the beauty of Kamchatka, but also emotions involving the lifestyle of the indigenous people from our region. We really love our region and we are ready to show this region to our guests from any side. We practice tours in industrial tourism segment. Everyone knows that there is gold mining industry in Kamchatka. We can take you to a gold mining plant and we will show you the entire mining process, how gold is mined. You can actually feel a gold miner. We also organize excursions to the fishing industry sites. You will see the entire process, how fish are brought to the processing plant, how fish are frozen, how it's cut and so on, and you can try this for yourselves and you can try the caviar. We also have a beer producing plant which is well known and which has a lot of awards for the natural quality of its products, for its traditions. And we are ready to organize an excursion for you to our beer processing plant and also milk processing plant. We also have a lot of experience organizing corporate team building events. We often do this on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. The emotions you get there will be with you for the rest of your life. We have different regattas, art master classes, team buildings in search of gold, games that are recognized as folk games for centuries. We will show everything. We can organize everything for you and you will have a splendid rest. Gastrotourism also gets special attention from us. We know that you love your Indian cuisine, but we are ready to work with your cooks for recipes to make sure that your food will be as delicious as possible so that you do not feel far from home, so that you can get new emotions. And we have excellent local products as well. Our experience of organizing events. We haven't seen tourists from India yet, but for 3 years we organized an Indian exhibition in Kamchatka with delegations settling in Kamchatka, and in the biggest center we organized the Indian fair. All Kamchatka people were able to come to our fair and buy Indian products. I really love Indian products. I've visited India and I would like to see you in Kamchatka. We also do a yoga festival. Every year during the sun solstice we do a yoga festival and we have more than 40 yoga coaches who come from all over Russia. We also have local yoga coaches and we have meditation, we have yoga practices. So these are unique events and we have experience of organizing vegan food during these festivals. We also organize different master classes. So when you come to see us, we will introduce you to our yoga coaches, and I think this experience will be useful to everyone. We are also able to organize different retreats on the coast of the Pacific Ocean, different yoga retreats and spiritual practices. Okay, I can switch the slides now. I can't move to the next slide for some reason. It freezes a bit, right? Okay, just 1 second. All right. That's it. Ethnographic programs. Our ethnographic programs are very popular. Every time we meet our guests, we start with ritual dances around the fire, and we have different indigenous peoples. We have people of different tribes in the Kamchatka region, and they have unique national traditions and dances. They have very interesting rituals related to the fire. All traditions and legends are connected with fire, and our national popular teams are ready to show these traditions to you. Each one of you will be able to play local musical instruments, sing the song of volcanoes, and all of that thanks to our national teams. And now I would like to tell you more about our platform on the coast of the Pacific Ocean, where we provide events for small tourist groups up to 15 people, and also larger scale programs for 150 people. Our platform is called Largo Place. Largo is our Kamchatka seal, and we are ready to welcome tourist groups. We also have our own master classes, retreat events, presentations, and here we also have our accredited catering partner, Petrovsky Restaurant, which services our guests on a high level. We have dishes arranged on excellent glass dishes and plates, and comfortable service is our priority here. What else would I like to tell you before asking you to choose an operator that is going to meet you in the Kamchatka region? First of all, you need to choose a proper season when you go to Kamchatka. In winter, it's beautiful, and in summer, it's also comfortable and beautiful. And I also love September, so come to Kamchatka region from July until September. It's also very important to pay attention to the price, but also the quality of service. We are always ready to provide information to you. We have transparent calculations so that you understand what your menu consists of, where you go, where your tourists sleep, where they rest, and what the difficulty of a tour is. We will be happy to see you in the Kamchatka region. Thank you for your questions that I can see in the chat right now. I will answer all those questions. And finally, I would like to tell you that today we would like to give you a gift for the best questions to the most active and unique listeners today.
So your team or your group could go to Largo Place to drink our Kamchatka tea with Kamchatka pastry, and at your wish, we could have master classes with yoga instructors or our national team master class to learn national dancing. So we look forward to getting your questions, and thank you for your attention. It was a pleasure to be part of that exhibition, and I hope to see you soon. Dhanyavad. This is our contact details. Good morning, colleagues. I'm Valentina Ruduk. I'm CEO of the Salmon Area Company. We could organize the best fishing in Kamchatka for 5 years, and you're kindly invited to have an unforgettable leisure with comfortable location in the heart of the Kamchatka nature on the Bolshaya River. Bolshaya means big. We organize a transfer from airport to the hotel, to angling bases to Bolsheretsk base, on a comfortable car for 8 passengers. The location at the base in a very retreat and serene place next to the riverbank. Clean air, good sunsets, you're guaranteed. We also build VIP houses now that could receive visitors next year. Our jet boats are comfortable and equipped with Yamaha suspended motors. We offer 3 types of tours. To Chavvicha tour from 1st of June to the 15th of July. The trophies up to 1 meter long. This is the longest salmon, king salmon, with the maximum weight up to 20 kilos, or the average weight is 8 to 10. The smaller salmon is June to August. Again, the average weight of the fish is 2 to 5 kilos. And the geysers salmon tour, 15th August, 10th of October, trophy length of 60 to 80 centimeters, 3 to 9 kilos. What is the format of angling? Well, you don't need to have special preparation for that. Even newcomers can do that. Up to 20 persons on a team. The recommended duration is 3 to 7 days. The tour includes accommodation, 3 times meal. Our chef will take into account any your desires, could cook Indian salmon or Indian food. We could also organize a lunch at the riverbank, the 5-minute caviar salmon on the open fire. So the tour includes morning and evening angling, the Russian bathhouse, and you can cook your own salmon, and you can take away fish of any type, salted or frozen or caviar, to India, to your friends or loved ones. We also recommend you to take along is personal gear, apparel, water-resistant boots and clothes, personal, toiletry, and I'm sorry, I beg your pardon, I have some technical issues, but yeah, personal toiletry. What else? This is our base, how it looks like. This is a van that we meet and greet visitors. This is our bathhouse on firewood. So let's get back to the slides. This is a geysers salmon. This is VIP houses. This is Chavvicha. This is Chavvicha salmon up to 20 kilos maximum weight. Let's get back to the price of the tour. 15,000 rubles per day per person, which is $220 for group tours. Individual tours, 24,000 rubles per person per day, which is $320. the cost of this is geysers salmon. This is ceviche, kita and garbusha salmons. Garbusha salmon has the best caviar, the tastiest one, and we could taste it. We could just prepare it. It's called 5-minute caviar. The recommended time for, well, the tour price includes accommodation with all, amenities, 3-time meals, lunchbox to the boat, Russian bathhouse, professional services, guide services, fish preparation services, a license for fishing, and you can buy any type of products that you can take along. This is the salmon, prepared salmon or cured salmon. This is the fish soup, crab. We also supply crab on the menu. And a few words about the itinerary of the tour. We meet and greet at the airport, transfer to the base. If you want to go to a local store, you can do that. Accommodation, lodging, arrival at the base, and then fishing. The days of fishing include breakfast, going to fishing, going back to the base, lunch, again fishing, and dinner. And the last day is breakfast, fishing, and then getting back to Petropavlovsk. In addition to the fishing, we could offer you all-terrain vehicle and quadricycles rides, as well as the trip to the Sea of Okhotsk, where you can catch a white fish called navaga, and we could offer you the hot springs of Apache. So this is it. Thank you for your attention. Sorry for technical issues. I'm finished. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are all located in different regions. Sometimes you may have daytime, but we have nighttime already, but still we are happy to see you and open for cooperation. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Maria Nazarova, Commercial Director of Zimaleto Travel Group, and I deal with the hot topics related to cooperation with our partners. Our company has been there for a long time. Our team has experience since 1997. All experts are skilled and experienced, so it's pretty comfortable to work with us. We have a website, and behind it there is a system of tour operators that we can work B2B or on a B2C basis. So every partner, every potential partner, could get a link to a personal account and to control its orders, applications, see its calculations and fees. It's useful, and that program allows us to stay away from manual processing of applications. The system is doing everything, and we have paperless document management. We had a lot of information. You have already heard a lot about Kamchatka from my colleagues, but I will not try to replicate them, and probably we have some time. I do want to have an interactive connection, question and answer. So I'm going to just briefly tell you about us, and then we will have a Q&A session. Our company has been there for a long time. Our professionals are skilled, and we provide and offer various trips, many days or one-day trips for any demand. As far as tours are concerned, you need to know that Kamchatka is a seasonal place. We have two seasons, winter and summer. The winter season starts in November and is finished in April. And the summer season, or a high season, lasts from August, September through to first half of October. So the trips or routes that we can provide for seasons, I'm going to tell you about. So let me find the proper slide. So this is some information of what we do. We have lots of routes for winter and for summer times, including dog sledding, all-terrain vehicles, volcanoes, mountains, rafting. This is jet boat trips. This is a novelty in this season. We're going to launch it. Helicopter programs, including those to go to interactive programs where you cannot reach by vehicle, only helicopter. This is the best picturesque places of Kamchatka Krai. We have wonderful horse riding routes. There are snowmobiles routes. For you, dear hot Indians, this is a new thing, to ride a snowmobile, to feel that wind behind you, to feel the zest of snowy beauty of endless territories of Kamchatka Krai. Up until July, it's available, and that's fine, but we need to give attention to seasonality. And now I would like to attract your attention to a seasonal factor again. In wintertime, the most active tourist types of tourism is snowmobiles. It's all-terrain vehicles, dog sledding, horse riding, and hot springs. Summertime, we have extended opportunities for watching the most beautiful places in Kamchatka, and we can go there on 4x4 shift vehicles, jeeps. My colleagues showed you what is a shift vehicle. So it's larger trucks up to 20 seats based on Ural and Kamaz Russian trucks. We also have a chance to go there by helicopter both in summer and in winter. A few words about lodging or accommodation. I saw your questions, and I can see that many are interested in specifics, where to stay in Kamchatka. The best place is the Paratunka district. Why Paratunka? Because it has different, various leisure bases with hot springs and hot swimming pools, and it's very nice, following a very nice route. Sometimes when you're tired, you can go to a hotel and you can indulge or dive in that hot springs. So this is relax in the truest sense of the word. And I would like to attract your attention to this district hotels. We have certain bookings at such hotels, and basically we could provide groups normally for the entire summer season, knowing that we will be able to offer you comfortable stay. Our company's mission is comfortable and safe vacation for our tourists, for our customers. We operate in any segment. There are trips or tours for a minimum price in in groups. We could also offer VIP tours. We always take into account your food specifics. This is key for us because guests should be full and happy. So we are willing to consider your Indian specifics and your customer specifics for food. What is possible? We could explain it to the hotel, a certain menu for your guests, or we could provide a chef who would be able to cook Indian food. Lots of routes are available on our website. You can take a look. We are open to work with you on a 24/7 basis. And a few words about an interesting place in Kamchatka, which is historic tours. As you see, Kamchatka is a wonderful corner of the planet. Someone calls it another planet because if you go there, nowhere, doesn't matter where, you can see the moon or the Mars landscape. It's so nice, so picturesque, lots of observation platforms. And now we know that Kamchatka is not only a place for tourism, but for spiritual things as well. Recently, we began doing esoteric tours for spiritual practices. The power of Kamchatka, the volcanoes, the earth, the hot earth power is huge. And when you arrive in there, you can charge so big. You can move those mountains. We are always happy to work in this direction with foreign customers. We have experience in working with Japan, Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, Europe. We always take into account your food specifics. It is a must for us. A tourist should feel comfortable and safe, and it should get comfortable food as well. Food which he got used to. And it's always, during our tours, we always keep an eye on who is coming, which country has arrived, and we make the food profile based on that. It's either hot food or lunch boxes. But anyway, your specifics will be included. As I understand, we don't have much time, but I can tell you that we are a very picturesque place, and you can have a wonderful wedding party on the background Utnovsky Canyon, on the Pacific Ocean glamping, wedding tours, spiritual practices, yoga tours, 1 to 3 days, anything possible. Another offer from us is to look at Kamchatka's winter. It may not be a standard time for you, you got used to warm weather, but Kamchatka is popular for wintertime. Snowboarding, skiing, we have prepared ski tracks, sports bases, any track you want. But also we have wild, wonderful slopes with the fresh air, and you have that pristine snow skiing from mountains, from volcanoes, and this is something. But here you need to be prepared. You should be professional. There are some slopes where you can take it when you're a newcomer, but there are professional slopes. But these are very good Kamchatka places from December to March. Kamchatka is unique. We have snow and greenery together up until July. And you may have all green in the city, but out in the mountains, snow is still there, and you can go from summer to winter. Any comfortable configuration is possible. If you don't want to have if you don't want to ride a snowmobile, you can have a sledge behind the snowmobile. We have comfortable tracked vehicles too, but anything is there for you. Horse riding, rafting, my colleagues already mentioned. It's not very extreme rafting, no. This is very mild and very serene water. You don't have to paddle, or you don't have to control the boat. The boat is controlled by a guide, and customers are only watching around. Enjoy your stay, enjoy your leisure. You may see many animals during the tour, and you don't have to pay any physical force to that. So Kamchatka is known for a lot of tours that you don't have to do a workout. The guides would do anything for you. During the rafting, you can see bears, you can watch birds, and when doing angling or when we stay overnight, the fireplace evening or the open fire evening, it's a wonderful time in the nature with no communication. So this is a real good practice, spiritual practice. What else is worth mentioning? How to get to our place? Yes, you can only go by air, but still we have good connection with Khabarovsk, Vladivostok and Irkutsk. We hope to have an open border from Seoul to Kamchatka, but there could be a stopover in Khabarovsk or Vladivostok, but still. If we consider economical way, the best economical cost-wise flight is from Moscow City. Any questions? If you have questions, please go ahead. I don't see any questions, but still, let's not spend our time, and let us mention one more thing. Why working with us? As I said, we can offer B2B or B2C options, open for any cooperation configuration. Standard tours, if you're not happy, write to us. We could customize it for you or for your customers. Any days, one or many days of contents. For those who don't want to do workouts, go climb mountains or volcanoes, we could offer a wonderful and, good cruise tours, multi-day tours on good yachts. We could sail for a couple of days, and you can catch fish out in the open sea. You can have any meal you want. Wonderful Kamchatka harbors that you can travel along. It's all in one. So it's not just a one day. It's a trip. It's a sea trip. And I would say it's going to be nice to visit our ethnic villages and to see Kamchatka in the maximum using old tracked vehicles or jeeps, where you could use to go as close as you want to our target without longer tiring walks and without putting much forced to that. So it's all possible. If you want, we could have a tour, any tailor-made tour by your request. And this is, I would like to remind you that Kamchatka is very good aspects, very good views, and a lots of popularity is vested in photographic tours. You can watch black Kamchatka bear at a safe distance. You have a guide, armed guide, who can ensure your safety, but you can come very close to those animals in natural habitat, and this is realistic for a photo tour. Our international partners always fly to the Kuril Lake for their customers, and the Kuril Lake, you can spend 1 to a few days there. It's a very popular route. Well, I didn't have too much questions, but still I am grateful to the fact that you have attended our exhibition, have learned more about our company, and you can find our contact details in our presentation. We're always happy to see you, and dhanyavad and asvidar.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to greet you. I'm the last but not least among the Kamchatka exhibitors. My name is Alla Ganska, and I'm the founder and CEO of tour operator in the Russian Far East, Kamchatka. And I would like to conclude what my colleagues have already said and introduce you a little bit more about Kamchatka. So I hope we could impress you and give you a little bit more introduction of what Kamchatka, the peninsula, the Russian Far East can offer. And I will continue with introducing our beautiful region. As we have already said before, and we still keep getting questions about what is Kamchatka and how to get there. Kamchatka is a peninsula in the Russian Far East. However, life there feels like on an island. It is washed by the Pacific Ocean and by the Okhotsk Sea, and you can get to Kamchatka only by air. The most comfortable way for you to get there would be flying from Moscow. There are numerous Russian airlines who could get you to Kamchatka. The flight lasts for about 8.5 hours. It's a direct flight. However, as it has already been told, we have numerous time zones in Russia, and when you leave Moscow in the afternoon at 16:40 p.m., you will land in Kamchatka next day. So Kamchatka is actually the region where Russia starts, as we say. So you always have to consider the time zones and prepare your clients for that. Kamchatka is a lot about wild nature. Probably there are not so many places in the world where you can experience such wild and precious nature as in Kamchatka. You can give your clients the feeling and let them experience and see how our planet and how our Earth was thousands of years ago. I will give you a short glimpse and introduction what our company focus on. Our major focus is designing and organizing individual programs. We make tailor-made excursions and we create unique experiences. We as well are experts on designing and organizing photography tours. It's a very special kind of tours which requires a lot of planning and a lot of details in advance, as well as we are experts in organizing tours in strictly protected nature preserves and sanctuaries. A little bit about the nature preserves. Once you get outside of Petropalovsk-Kamchatsky, which is the capital of Kamchatka, the most areas you travel, those will be nature parks, reserves, and preserves. And many of those places can be visited only upon the special requests. For example, if you want to travel to the Valley of Geysers, to Caldera Zone, or to the Kura Lake, where you can watch bears in their natural habitat, there are only limited permits per day or per season. Therefore, in advance planning is required. Kamchatka is the true inspiration of the setting the land of fire and ice. Kamchatka is all about unique experiences and it's once in a life adventure. In Kamchatka, you can look into the crater of an active volcanoes. You can observe bears. You can hike volcanoes, fish salmon, and be one-to-one with the wild nature. As well, there were a few questions. What is the best time traveling to Kamchatka? Even though we have like a classic summer which starts in June and according to calendar ends in August, summer in Kamchatka is very short. In June, in the mountains, there can still be snow. So I would recommend traveling to Kamchatka between July and middle of September. It's still summer, but in September, but it's Indian summer. Especially if you have clients who are focused on photography, whether they're professional or amateurs. Autumn, like from the end of August till the end of September, is probably the most colorful time in Kamchatka. If you want to hike volcanoes, catch salmon, then the best time would be from July till middle end of August. If you want to watch bears in their natural circumstances and habitat, then the best time would be from the end of July till the end of September. In some areas of Kamchatka, you can watch bears till the middle or end of October. When it comes to observing wildlife and photography tours, since this is our major focus, most of the photography slots in the nature preserves, they have to be booked in advance. It means we usually reserve the photography permits in the nature preserves years in advance. Those are limited, but it gives your clients the privilege to be one-to-one to nature. There will be no other groups. You would have the whole day to watch and photograph, film the bears. Of course, in all those settings, the group and photographers will be always accompanied by weaponed ranger who would provide the security. This is here in the picture. You can see how a typical photography tour would look like. Um, the bears, animals can get really close. However, it is safe. But your clients have always to be aware that it's a wild nature. Even though there are 20,000 bears in Kamchatka, which are spread all around the peninsula, it is wild nature. We cannot guarantee a certain amount of bears, but we can guarantee that your clients will see them and will have the opportunity to get a good shot. Kamchatka is a lot about adventure, and your clients have to be ready that it cannot always go according to plan. The weather can change very fast, and it can also influence your schedule. So once you get prepared a program for Kamchatka, please be aware that some excursions can be postponed because of the weather, and you always have to plan some reserve days. As I have already said, watching wild animals in Kamchatka is possible during the summer and autumn months. It's not only about bears, you can also observe red foxes, reindeers, even wolves and moose. If you're into sailing, you can get on a yacht or a boat and go for a day or multiple day excursion into the Pacific Ocean if you're into observing and photographing orcas, whales, and sea lions. Watching bears fishing is a very unique experience. There are plenty of places you can do that in Kamchatka. It's not only the Kura Lake, which is located in the south of Kamchatka, it's also in the north. Also, if you're into rafting or into fishing, your clients have very good chances seeing and observing bears during those kinds of activities. When it comes to transportation, it's a very crucial point, which requires also a lot of planning, and the type of the tour you would choose also depends on that. As my colleagues have already said, there are not so many good roads in Kamchatka, but as we people in Kamchatka say, there is always a direction. However, not every place can be reached by off-road truck or by an off-road jeep. And to get to some very preserved and less visited places in Kamchatka, you would have to use the helicopter. It has advantages and disadvantages. The most disadvantages, I will start with that, is of course that all the flights by helicopter are very much dependent on weather. But this is the only disadvantage. Helicopter saves you a lot of time and also gives your clients unique experience. And also you can get to the places where not so many tourists will be. An off-road truck would look like this. It's a very comfortable truck. It has air conditioning as well as heating, an on-road camera. There can be up to 25 passengers in a truck. However, it's more comfortable when you have less. These kind of vehicles can get almost everywhere. They can cross rivers and numerous mountain ranges. It's also very adventurous, and most of the visitors in Kamchatka purely enjoy off-road tours in Kamchatka. Also, as I have already said, Kamchatka is also about the marine life. So, if you want to organize for your clients a trip into the Pacific Ocean, you will most probably require a boat or a yacht. But also, discovering numerous lakes and rivers would require this kind of boats and vehicles and means of transportation. I would highly recommend incorporating helicopter flights into the tours because it's a great opportunity to see Kamchatka from the bird's view. Also, during our exclusive and unique tours, we always hire Mi-8 helicopters where you can open the windows, especially for photographers. It is very important as they do not like to photograph through the glass. And it's very impressive when you have wind to your face, when you see active volcanoes which are erupting at that moment. Believe me, we've never had customers in Kamchatka who would regret flying by helicopter, who would have a bad view. As for cuisine, Kamchatka is very much known for the freshest salmon, best salmon, wild salmon in the world. And during our trips, we always serve dishes of various international cuisine worldwide, incorporating the best regional products there. We combine Russian cuisine as well as Italian, Mediterranean, and we are open to design a menu up to your requests. By the way, we already have our own menu, which was designed and have dishes which only can be served during our trips. If you have a special request and your clients want to have only the dishes of Indian cuisine, we can also invite Indian chefs from Moscow, but it's of course on a very special request. As for accommodation, my colleagues have already said a lot about it. We have nice, some of them privately owned hotels in Petropavlovsk and in Paratunka area. And when you start designing or planning a trip to Kamchatka, um, there are crucial things you have to decide about the accommodation. If your clients only want to stay in the most comfortable hotels, lodges, and cabs, then you will most probably stay only in Petropavlovsk and Paratunka and will make like day-long trips, like a day trip by helicopter, and then you get in the evening back to your hotel. The next day you get on a boat and make a Pacific trip, but then you always stay within the hotel. Yeah, you experience wild nature, but only during the day trips. If you have clients who want to experience wild nature, who want to stay in the wild nature one to one, and are ready to sacrifice a little bit of a comfort, yet do not want to stay in tents, we have lodges which are situated in the nature reserves and preserves. Those are, of course, no luxury accommodation, yet they provide basic comfort as shower, an ensuite toilet, sauna. It's not sleeping in a tent, but there will be two, three, maximum four persons in a room. And our company provides all the possible comfort like gorgeous cuisine, perfect organization of the trip, and of course, unique experience. Imagine waking up in the morning and drinking coffee or tea with a beautiful look at the volcano, and you are the only one in this area. On the tundra, there are foxes and bears. Then you get on a boat, you go by that boat to the Pacific, you watch bears fishing there, and there are no other tourists and persons around. Then you get picked up by a helicopter and fly to the next location. These are the types of experiences that we create during our trips, and they are, of course, very unique. Of course, they require a little bit of sacrificing the comfort, but what you gain, what your customers gain during those tours, it's very unique. So here I put an example of a program. There were also questions regarding how long it is necessary to stay in Kamchatka to see and experience the most beautiful places. We always say that at least 7 days, like 6 nights, this is the minimum you would need for Kamchatka to see not all of it beautiful places, but the most beautiful of them and those that can be reachable within one day. This is one of our luxury programs, which includes 2 helicopter excursions by private helicopter, so no other tourists on a helicopter. Also, a day-long trip into the Pacific Ocean where you could watch orcas, hump whales, sea lions. A jeep tour to one of the most active and beautiful volcanoes of Kamchatka, and of course, the best accommodation. It's a very short description of what a program like this can look like with the names of the locations and also the approximate price, all inclusive. If you need more details regarding this program or a program which would be a bit longer and unite also staying somewhere outside of Petropavlovsk, like in nature preserves in a lodge, please contact me. Here is our website. We have programs there which can be interesting for you. However, the 90% of the programs we make in summer, those are individual and tailor-made programs. So on our website, you can have a glimpse what we do and what we offer. However, you can always send us an email and say that we had a look at your program. We would like to change it partially or complete, and we will send you an offer. We also provide all our partners with unique photography and video content so they can make a rather presentative and interesting offer to their clients. I will shortly look through the questions which we just got in our chat. The ideal time in the year to cover maximum sightseeing in this region, as I already said, it's summer. Yeah, if you're into watching volcanoes, bears, fishing, if you're into warmer temperatures, then July, August till the middle of September will be probably the best time for visiting. Bears can be dangerous. The visitors, if there were any dangerous instances, of course, you're in a wild nature. Yeah. However, we consider all the precautions in order to provide security, and we've never had any incidents with bears attacking bears. Believe me, bears are not interested in attacking human beings. They're very busy fishing. They have to fish and eat a lot of fish during summer so they can fall asleep in the winter. They sleep through the whole winter, so they don't really bother of attacking people. We will send all the programs we have to the email addresses, dear Indian colleagues, you have already sent to us, so you can have a look at what we can offer also for luxury clients. Thank you very much for your attention. It was an honor concluding the information about Kamchatka region. I wish you all the best, and I hope seeing you in Kamchatka soon.